Ever notice how some people just know what to do next, whereas you are stuck over analyzing the options? You take a sheet of paper and then you write down the pros and cons of each and everything as to what would happen if you made one decision versus the other, and after you're done, you're still nowhere close to making the right decision. You're not indecisive, you're just out of sync. In this video, I'm going to show you why making decisions feels so hard and what is really blocking your clarity. And I will also give you access to a free workshop where I show you how you can leverage the power of the stars in order to be able to make decisions that help you jump forward or create momentum or take you 2 steps forward. Hello everybody, I am Vaishali Nikhade. I am an engineer turned psychic with over 9,000 readings, and I show you how you can leverage the power of the spirit and the power of the stars in order to be able to make decisions so easy that it just feels like you blink an eye and you already have the decision. Smart people who can solve all sorts of problems, they actually freeze when it comes to making a decision on their own. And as a psychic, I read a lot of people who are debating as to whether or not they should make a decision that says yes versus a decision that says no. Studies show that an average person makes about 35,000 decisions a day, but most of them are made on autopilot. I'm going to share with you why decision making feels so heavy and confusing, especially when you are at crossroads, and what is actually happening beneath the surface. By the end of this video, you will understand why you hesitate and how to make aligned decisions without overthinking. So here's what you're going to learn in this video. You are overusing logic, you think you can do it later, and you're missing timing signals. So let's get started. The first part is that you are overusing logic. So most people, they rely only on logic to make a decision. If you ask someone, then they can write down the pros and cons before they make a decision. Let's say that Mary has a job offer and she has to make a decision on whether or not she should accept this job offer. So she's going to write down the pros and cons of taking up this job offer, and when she is done, she still cannot decide whether or not she should take up this offer. Logic has already given her all the information, especially when everyone has access to the internet at their fingertips, and they can literally find out lots of information about a company in order to make that decision. So logically, she has everything that she needs. However, logic doesn't work all the time. Otherwise, well, we would be living in a different world. Her intuition is telling her that something doesn't feel right. The company looks good, everything looks good, the group looks good, the boss looks good, and something is just not feeling right. And she still logically makes the decision to join that company, even though her gut is telling her not to do it. And within a few weeks, she actually gets laid off. So that is just by going on logic. She made a decision that she should join. However, her gut was telling her not to do it. So if she had made a decision based on intuition, then she wouldn't have joined. But the thing is, logically, everything was checking out, so she decided to join, and now she joins, and then she kind of gets laid off. So that is an example of overusing logic and overriding intuition in order to be able to make a decision. There is just one more example I kind of wanted to touch on, which is another person, let's say Anna. She had to make a wire, a bank wire, and she goes to make that wire, and all the time she's driving, her gut is telling her, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And then she finally, against her intuition or against her gut feelings, goes and makes that wire. And within a day or two, she realizes that whatever or whoever the person was that she made the wire to, let's say the transaction was not a genuine transaction or it was fraudulent. So luckily, in her case, she was able to recall the wire. So that is it's kind of following her gut, because she still kind of followed her gut because her gut was telling her no. So even though she made the wire, she was still on top of the situation, and she was able to find out that the situation was not in her favor, and she was able to call the bank and recall the wire. So that is an example of kind of not following your gut, but kind of still following it and maybe just getting lucky. So even though she used logic, she still kept on top of intuition, and she was able to leverage the situation in her favor. So go ahead and put in the comments below if you've ever made a decision based on logic only and then regretted it because you realized that your gut was saying no, don't do it, and yet logic said yes, do it. And then you went with logic and it turned out that the situation was not in your favor. So the second part is you think you can do it later. So essentially, a lot of people feel like they can postpone decisions because there is no urgency to it. However, you have to realize that opportunities come disguised in plain clothes. And sometimes what seems like a seemingly obvious decision, there is a lot more that is going on behind it. And this is something I cover in the Cosmic Chronicle. The link to sign up is below, which is essentially I give you what you need to watch out for or where the opportunity is going to be in the coming weeks so that you are more aware of what to look for in order to be able to leverage that opportunity or in order to be able to take advantage of that opportunity. So I'll give you a perfect example. I was working with this girl, let's call her Barbara, and she was aware of what she needs to look for. She was looking for, let's say, a life partner. So she was on various dating sites and she was looking for someone. And that specific week, I had told her that this is the opportunity you need to look for. And for whatever reason, she forgot. And then by the end of the week, when we went over the review, she said that the opportunity did come her way, but she just discarded it. So essentially, she didn't really know what to look for because she just thought that, oh, it was just an ordinary thing. But like I said before, opportunities come disguised in plain clothes. And because she thought it was an ordinary thing, she just discarded it. Oh no, I'm not going. And essentially, it turned out that she actually kind of, let's say, made a decision which was not in her favor. So she didn't really see the opportunity behind it. So a lot of people, they make the decisions based on the surface value of what the opportunity looks like, but just by logic, you cannot gauge the value of the opportunity. By using your intuition, if you're trained to use your intuition, you can get into it a little bit. By using the power of the stars, yes, you can know what to look for. The stars make it a lot easier because essentially you know what to look for. She already knew what to look for. The point is that she had forgotten that week on what to look for, so she didn't really have it in her head as to what she was looking for. So using the stars, you know what to look for. Using intuition, it is confirmation, and using logic, well, not much is going to happen. So I have a free workshop below where I show you how the stars can show you or point you towards the direction of how to make the right decision or what to look for. And I have all the frameworks in there, so you can sign up for the free workshop and look at all the frameworks that are involved in terms of the stars pointing you towards making the right decision. And if you are wanting to know as to what is it that you need to look forward to every week, then you can sign up for the Cosmic Chronicle, where essentially I kind of give you as to what opportunity the stars have for you every week, and then you can know what to look for, just like Barbara missed out on an opportunity, you will not miss out on an opportunity. And this is the way you can kind of make a decision which is outside the realm of logic. And the last part is that you are missing timing signals. So as far as missing timing signals are concerned, let's say nature has a rhythm until it doesn't. Nature has a rhythm until it doesn't. That's a true statement. All right, so this is day and this is night. So most people, they have, let's say, a lot of energy during the day, and then as they're working throughout the day, their energy kind of wanes down until they go to sleep, and then essentially, when you are sleeping, essentially your body is resting. So this is kind of what the energy looks like, and then on top of this, you have the stars. And what the stars can show you is they can pinpoint that during this part of the day is when there's going to be an opportunity that is going to favor you. So remember I told you earlier as to knowing what to look for. So essentially you know that this is the segment of time you need to look for, or maybe what kind of opportunity you need to look for, and you can look for this on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, or a monthly basis. So just like I have this as a scale for a day, you can have this as a scale for a month, except that this would no longer be valid because maybe people don't have their energy wane like that during the month. But you could have this as day and night. You could have it as start of the month and end of the month, and then you could have this as start of the quarter and end of the quarter. And there are going to be segments in each of these areas where you will find that there are going to be specific times when the stars are going to favor you. And how I calculate those times, it's in the workshop, which is the free workshop. And if you want to know as to what the opportunity is, that is in the Cosmic Chronicle. And you can sign up for both of these and kind of know how you can leverage the power of the stars in order to be able to create momentum in your life. So essentially, some days are for action and some days are just for sowing the seeds. And once you start recognizing these patterns and working with these patterns, you will find that you are getting different results than what you were before. So if you're feeling stuck between options, then you don't really have to guess your next move. You can use the power of the stars as well as the power of the spirit, which is intuition, in order to be able to make a decision. And essentially, the major reason why people get stuck in making a decision is because logic as well as intuition are conflicting with each other. Because logic is saying one thing and intuition is saying another. And if you're not used to tapping into your intuition or making decisions intuitively, then obviously you are going to question it. And you're going to wonder if it's really true. And this is the reason that you can kind of superimpose the power of the stars on it. And then if the stars are favoring and intuition is favoring and logic is, no, it doesn't matter what logic says at that point, you can kind of go with stars as well as intuition. So the Cosmic Chronicle essentially gives you a weekly map of what is happening energetically so that you can make the right decision. It's not really about doing more, it's about working smarter. So it's not about working harder, but it's about working smarter. So sometimes what happens is that people think that their willpower is going to take them or help them make the right decision. However, willpower by itself is not enough. And that is the subject of my next video, and I'll see you in my next video.